Okay, there'll be no camera while I do the paper, and then I will switch the background and have a camera for a little before I log off. I am reading a story that Andrew wrote in college about his bullying experience in junior high. Paper was wrote on September 25th, 2014. Oh no, you're fine. All right. So the story is called The Shadow That Showed Me the Light. I will admit to misgivings upon sharing what I call the most defining moment of my life. My hesitation isn't for lack of material or difficulty in putting it into words. I will feel fear for the entire process of writing this and in the hours after I finish. It's a fear all encompassing to the point I've never before made a physical copy of what I'll be sharing. Fear has dictated my decision making for the greater half of my life, and for fear of never writing about my past, do I choose to put these upcoming feelings into words for the first time. Before you can truly understand the depth of how I was affected, I need to help you picture the child I used to be. In 2002, I graduated from elementary school and started my attendance to seventh grade. My life up to that point had been academics and impressing both my parents and teachers alike with my intelligence. I was very introverted and had an easier time connecting with adults than others my own age. On top of this, I wasn't too tall of a 12-year-old, and my red hair and glasses set me out as unique within my grade. These points all came together against me as I left long known peers behind for a junior high school with its grade populations many times larger than my elementary school. I started that year with my game plan firmly in mind: graduate junior high, graduate high school, go to college. The enthusiasm quickly disappeared when my first day's classes taught me a vital point. I didn't know anyone. I was alone. It was a fact I'd never really had affect me before. I mean, what could be worse than all the extra homework a new grade brought, right? I apologize. Sarcasm has always been one of my coping mechanisms. What I explain now is what my mind can currently bring to the surface of my thoughts. A large amount of the memories from my 2 years in that school are like a blank spot. Psychologists call it a dissociative amnesia, which means my mind locked away or outright destroyed my experiences to save itself and myself from the pain of said experiences. I was bullied in junior high. It's such a simple statement, which doesn't even come close to explaining how I became the person I am today. Turning this simple fact into a revealing complexity, it's much like the opposite of piecing together a jigsaw puzzle. I need to separate the big picture into the building blocks that formed the foundation of problems I still face today. I was a target for everything short of sexual abuse. The physical abuse would happen a couple times a week on average, but there were more heated events a few times throughout the years. There wasn't assigned seating in my health class in eighth grade, so when my usual seat was taken from me one day, I simply chose another. When one of my classmates saw I was sitting in their seat and I didn't move for them, the situation was to flip the entire desk upside down with me sitting in it, then kicking me out to leave me as a pile on the ground with the advice to move when I'm told to. The teacher was present in front of the class during this. I was left to limp to another desk. Another occurrence that comes to mind for what this style of situation was woodshop in eighth grade. We were smoothing out our wooden piggy banks at the time, and a classmate that had long been trouble for me thought it would be fun to remove my work from my hands and play keep away with it. When I managed to get angry enough to act for myself and try to take it back, I was promptly shoved to the ground with my back smacking against a work table and being told, "What makes you think you can touch me?" Yes, once again did an event have a teacher present in the front of the class, and once again did I have an adult speculate my pain without stepping in. The best example of this style of events, however, took place in the cafeteria when I tried sitting at a table with others seated around it. The seating for the cafeteria was in 8 rows of 2 long tables, and everyone had their clique they stuck next to. It was much like self assigned seating. When I broke this unofficial rule, I, I ended up with me being lifted off the stool style seat and thrown to the floor. "You don't belong here," was a comment I was given, and this time I had a whole cafeteria watch me without anyone coming to my defense. This time there were school administrators watching from their seats up on the stage in the corner of the cafeteria. These were the people you were supposed to be able to go to if you needed help. It was this time that truly taught me to only trust myself because I had multiple sources of proof that I was on my own. From then on, I sat at a half table by myself, isolated, even though 100 children surrounded me. Beyond the bruises I would take home was the daily verbal abuse. Once again, this sounds like typical kids will be kids statement, and only through explaining its lasting effects do I believe I can make my point. To this day, I have an aversion to wearing long sleeve shirts. One of my family's Christmas gifts to me was 3 shirts that were a bit too long in the sleeves. That was a target for them to act upon, and if I had logos on my clothing, they were also targeted. I didn't wear my pants sags, so when I wore shorts, they would end just above my knees, and this was another observation they used to insult me. My wardrobe for my teenage years was nothing but neutral colors because I had to hope that maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't be noticed as much. Besides the wardrobe were the 2 other strings of words that majorly impacted me. I had no right to look them in the eyes, and I had no right to talk. To this day, I look at my feet when I walk, and any form of prolonged speaking gives me a sore throat due to my vocal cords atrophy. The change in my personality for the first year was depression and isolation. My parents had noticed a bit of a change in me from how I acted now compared to how I acted before. My dad told my mom to not become involved because it was typical teenage behavior and I'd be better for it. When I returned for eighth grade and the cycle continued onward, my feelings grew to the point I couldn't take it anymore. At night, I would lay in bed in fear the next day and the torture it would bring. I had suicidal thoughts as a daily occurrence as I attended that hell of a school with the only break having been the summer between the years. These thoughts became part of my life in many on and off periods up until I was 19. There are a lot of side effects that aren't listed on the books when it comes to the mind and suffering. Until a couple of years ago, I couldn't plan more than a week ahead in my life because I had the mentality that I might not live to see the next week. To this day, I'll have mornings where I wake up, see the sun shining through the windows, and grieve for myself because 7 years of my life were spent thinking each sunrise couldn't have been my last. Could have been my last. So here I am today. I have several, I have severe trust issues. I'm afraid of people close to my age. I have trouble speaking up. Crowds put my mind on high alert. My dreams no longer involve fantasy, but instead feature lucid arguments with people for my life, or for better or for worse, contain no picture at all when I wake up in a panic with my mind blank. I'm diagnosed bipolar 1 with post traumatic stress disorder. However, when asked this next golden question, my answer surprises all I tell. If you could go back and change one thing from your life, what would it be? I answer, nothing. I wouldn't change a single aspect of my past. Every experience we have shapes who we are. I could choose to go back and imagine the what ifs, or if I had gone to a different school, or if I had someone worked up the courage to talk about what I was going through. However, changing the worst part of my life would leave me without who I am. My name is Andrew Nail. I love to write and make people laugh. I use what I've experienced to help others who are going through similar problems. This took me 12 hours to write with my heart racing and my fingers shaking the entire time. You know what, though? I'll take the 4 medications I have to swallow to function every single night without any regrets. I have another sunrise I'd like to see. Well, I did it. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to. I remember I cry every time I read it. I'll be honest. Um, First time I read it, when he gave me the paper and I read it, and I told him, I said, I wish I would have known. I knew he was being bullied. I didn't know the extent. I knew he was having trouble on the bus, and I wanted to take him to school and pick him back up. And his father wouldn't let me. My biggest regret for him is that I didn't know and that I didn't intervene. Because if I would have known, the school would have hated me, and his father probably would have too, but it wouldn't have mattered. Okay. So I think, oh, wait, hold on. I'm messing it up. Did this so this would be easier. All right. Two things.
Where, where's my arrow? Give it back. Give it back. What? Oh, I got it. I got the glitch. The bear into space glitch. He's up there now.
And it's gone. Oh.
You're so cute. Look at that little face. It's squeaking.
Oh no.
So cute.
Nadia, you're not gonna do that, are you? Nadia.
Listen, it's so cute. So noises.
Oh no. Okay, she didn't. I thought she was gonna snap his little neck. I was like, oh my god. But now when you're talking to it like oh my god. I remember back on the PS4, I did try story mode. And you get to the part where you meet the guy at the cabin and the knife's in him, and you have the choice to either stick it in or pull it out. And I'm just like, okay, well, I shoved it in. But you don't get the knife that way. The only way you get the knife is if you pull it out of him. I mean, he's going to die either way, but I don't know. It's like, oh, why, after he's dead, why can't you just reach over and pull it out? I don't understand. Like, what's the difference? Oh.
So I think actually that was a
Oh,
bait,
this one again.
and I was supposed to act jealous and somehow.
The shirt I bought for
Tell
him,
my
it
nose to with
says
me, but
it's a taco.
So,
Taco about awesome.
I get it.
I got 5 of his shirts.
well, we were very different. So I don't think it would have worked out, but well.
Yeah, this is
that
true.
is still a regret.
But yes, I was late today, and then I was having trouble trying to get the picture set as my wallpaper, as I did his table. You can't really see too much of, but I do have like a happy birthday where I thought we could hang it between the 2 pictures, but it's not big enough. I did some balloons. But that's really all I had planned for this stream because I knew I would be emotional and I would need time to recover afterwards. But I wanted to read something I found that he wrote on Facebook before I go. And I will be back at 2. I'll be better next time because I've already got some of the stuff set up. So be back at 2. I'm going to get some stuff done around the apartment. I did have a small bowl of ice cream for breakfast to make him proud because that's he called that the breakfast champion. Honor. It's back on, so see what I'm reading. Yes, Doug, I think you and him would have got along perfectly. All right. So this is something I found that he wrote on Facebook years ago. Here it is, 3 in the morning, medication all screwed up due to the usual misunderstanding with appointments and when they need to be. And I have the greatest urge to scream at the top of my lungs. No message behind it, seemingly no reason, but it's there. I'm tired of tablets being the difference that make me function. I'm tired of holding myself back from my goals, but mostly I'm ashamed of myself for so willingly taking advantage of the situations I'm in to justify it. I'm angry at myself because I'm a coward. I survived having my body and spirit broken again and again. I've said before that seeing the sunrise strikes me as one of the greatest things because it means that I'm still here, that I never gave in. I think it's about time I changed the saying to remind myself something else as well. There's a big difference between existing and living, and it's about time I grew from my experiences instead of rotting away. I'm just part of me's happy and part of me's glad. He was doing better right before the accident, and it did. He was happier. I remember him because I used to have to come into what is now my room to talk to him, and because he would just be in here on the PC doing whatever, mostly reading. He read a lot, and I always felt like I was bothering him. But the one time he came out, I was out in the living room. I have two recliners, and he came and sat in the other one, and I just looked over at him and I went, "Everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just feel like talking." And I went, "What?" And then he started talking to me about, I don't even remember what it was about. And he said, "Well, I hope I'm not bothering you." I'm like, "No, you're not bothering me. I'm just I was grateful he wanted to talk." And then I had bought an air fryer, and we had bought some pot stickers in the weeks before he actually come out, and he had really trouble. He would just not like he didn't like cooking and stuff. I don't know where he gets it from. um, but he come out and he made those, and then he sat in the other recliner that day and he ate those, and he was just happier and he was sleeping better, and so I'm grateful that he was in a better place, but definitely wish I would have had a lot more years. But now we'll have to get together maybe next week. I don't know, I'm kind of busy next, but soon, about getting some more stuff done on my stream stuff. I got stuff I want to do and don't know how to do it. But, but I raised two good kids. They're very different in a lot of ways, but both boys turned out very well, despite dealing with me mother. Well, like I said, I am gonna go now, and I will be back at 2. I'm gonna play some Monster Rancher 2, so that should be fun. I don't know how it is on PC. I did play years ago on PlayStation, so that'll be a good time. So I will hopefully see you guys later. Love you all. Take care. Bye.